Hey, everybody, welcome into the conference room. This is episode 3. Thank you guys for checking in on this, and pleasure to be joined right now. You can see the colors on the screen right now. It's black and orange. That means the Marlington Dukes. We're talking to them today, and their new coach, Joe Cardinal, kind enough to join us here for a couple minutes. Coach Cardinal, first of all, congratulations on getting the job here at Marlington.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Excited to be here.
Absolutely, man. Well, I want to get right into it. Why Marlington? Obviously, I know you have ties here locally, but when you saw this job opened up, you already had a job. You were in a spot and doing well. And we'll talk about that. Your time at Northwestern coming up here in a couple minutes. But what was it about that Marlington job, other than back home in Sebring Alliance area, that made you really interested enough to look into it and eventually get the job?
Yeah, I mean, it's the people here. Again, growing up 15 minutes down the road,
Right.
I know Marlington. I have friends that went to Marlington, and the people here are great. And so to kind of be a part of that, and then the tradition, the program has. I mean, for about a 10-year run, Marlington was second to none in the county, and so to kind of be a part of that is really neat. The character of the kids here, amazing. I can't really think of a whole lot to say bad about Marlington. To me, this is a destination job for sure.
Yeah, it's funny. I've been calling games in Stark County now for about 8 years, and we do a lot of games at Marlington Alliance and West Branch on our station AM 1310 WGPN. And one thing about Marlington, win or lose, 10-0, 0-10, weather, it doesn't matter. That stadium is packed, and everyone's there cheering, having a great time, and that community supports the Dukes no matter what the sport, no matter what the time. So I 100% echo what you have to say. I'm sure the community alone, and they've already embraced you since you've been named the head coach?
Oh, it's been nothing but, it's been great so far. Everybody's friendly, and everybody is, hey, what do you need? And that's really neat to hear. It's don't ask. It's what do you need? What can we do to help you? Transition's been special. It's been really nice for me.
Yeah. Now, obviously, coming from Northwestern last year in Wayne County, and doing my research, reading other articles, interviews you've done, great success. They're taking over for who was a legend at that program, and your first year there, 8-2, second round of the playoffs. Not too shabby. Can you just talk for a second what it was like when you go to a program like that, necessarily, where you're like it said, you're taking over for someone who was a legend in the area and what he did, and you're there, the new guy in town. What do you think your keys were to keeping that train rolling last year?
To me, the big thing was, and it's kind of the same thing I told the guys here. It's not my team, it's their team, and I'm just here to try to help them, be successful. So, the terminology that we do, the formations that we do, we kind of run it through the kids. A lot of our names, based on what they wanted to call them. I look like an idiot on Fridays saying some of these things, but they get it, and that's kind of the idea is you embrace them. Then to me the other way around. I'm not hey, I'm the head coach, we're doing it my way type deal.
Right.
I want to do what's comfortable for those guys, and that's kind of what led to the success over there in Husky land. I kind of want to bring the same thing here.
You touch on that, and I wanted to talk to you about that too. There's obviously there's a million different ways to coach a football team, and some guys have their systems, and their systems go where they go. And to me, there's no right or wrong. But you seem like someone from what I've read and doing my research that is someone who wants to look at the kids, see what the skill sets are, see what they can do, and then adjust accordingly. And I've always thought that's the best way to do it. Has that always been your philosophy?
Yeah, I'm a defensive guy at heart, and so I loved it. If I would put an 8-man box and the team would just run at us, that was great for me.
Right.
Or if I sent 3 and I dropped 8 and they threw, that was great for me. So going to this kind of offensive side, head coaching part of the job, I decided, I'm not a run first guy, I'm not a pass first guy. It's my job to just make it simple. If teams are trying to stop the run, we're going to throw the ball, and if they're playing our pass, then we're going to run. And I've been blessed at Northwestern, and then again here, we got playmakers in different spots. So now it's kind of my job to figure out how do I put those guys in positions to make plays. I think that's kind of the point of the offense, is not necessarily, hey, it's my way. It's, hey, I got to look at each kid's skill set and then kind of go from there. What can he do to help himself and then help the team.
When talking with the athletic director at Marlington when the search was going on, I asked him, what are you looking for? And one of the things that stuck out that he said to me is, someone that wants to be here and someone that wants to be here for a little bit. Is that something you definitely expressed when you were talking about taking over this program?
I've applied at Marlington now. I think this is my third time.
Okay.
I applied.
Question answered.
Yeah, I applied as a teacher 5 years ago. Not
Mhm.
even as a football coach. It
Okay.
was just as a teacher, and then I obviously help out at football. But I'm 18, 17 years in now, so I'm expensive. So a lot of these, you go the smart route, and you go, you can go a little bit. Somebody has the same, resume you do teacher wise. But then I applied, to be the head coach last year, and then I did again this year. So no, I mean this is growing up in Sebring, the goal was to always come back,
Right.
and the idea was, I had some really good high school football coaches. Brian Coffey, who was the principal now over at West Branch, was my head football coach, and I learned a ton. But I figured in order to be different than everybody, I need to get out of the area, and that's kind of what I did. Tried to go learn some things other coaches are doing across the state, and actually even across the country. I was in Tennessee for 6 years, and then try to bring that back here is really special to me. Yeah, so I'm really excited to be here.
So let's talk now about the first time you sat down with your players, the first time you got to meet the kids, be in front of them face to face and talk to them. Talk for a second about what that was like and how receptive the kids were and the team was to hearing you for the first time and getting to meet you.
Yeah, great. We did it here in one of the rooms in here at Marlington High School, where I'm at now. So if you hear an
Mhm.
echo, the rooms are kind of empty. And it was amazing. You kind of talked about myself, kind of talked about what I wanted to do, kind of talked about what they felt their strengths and weaknesses were. And it was crazy. Everything. And even today, it's still no, sir, yes, sir, no
Mhm.
coach, yes, coach. And yeah, that's special. I mean, that shows that, these kids were raised right.
Mhm.
And, I've had some pretty successful teams, had the chance to be a part of some, pretty successful teams. And I always think that's a staple. Kids that respect themselves and respect others, then they respect their teammates. And I think that's a winning culture. So no, it was great. It was absolutely great. They took about 20 minutes out of the end of the day, and I got to talk to all these guys, and we kind of went straight from there into the weight room a little bit, and got after it. So it was a lot of fun.
Now, obviously, coming in as a first-year head coach,
Mhm.
especially when you come in a little later, and it happens in high school football.
Yeah.
I mean, not everyone has the full off season to go. So you come in here, and like, where do you start? Like, where do you go? Like, okay, like I don't have the full off season with these kids that a lot of other coaches that have been here have. I'm kind of coming in here, a little bit later, but I still have time. But where did you decide to start?
Oh, yeah. To me, I had plenty of time.
Okay.
I was in no rush. I think you look at the huddle film first,
Mhm.
and then you kind of watch each kid again. It's kind of, hey, what are they good at? What are they not so good at? Hey, what are our strengths as a team? You kind of start there. You start with getting to know the guys. I think that's big, especially now if you do come in late. It's hard to listen to somebody when there's no relationship there. And
Right.
so I'm a big relationship guy. So you try to build that up, pretty quick. And it's not just, you don't want just a football relationship. You want to really know these kids, really help these guys out. And then, kind of open yourself up too, with them. And then from there, you kind of just do little meetings, here and there with them, trying to put together a staff. And, to me, staff is not about finding the first 8 guys. It's finding the best guys that will fit Marlington, and that's
Mhm.
kind of what I did. So it's kind of a step by step deal. But I mean, there's no panic there. I feel great where we're at right now.
Yeah, and looking at some of the players from last season, I know you'll be leaning, but you're leaning on everyone, of course. I mean, I go to a Bohemo Heber,
Mhm.
a kid that receiver, running back, taking kicks back at the end of the season because of injuries. He steps up and plays quarterback and doesn't do too bad.
No.
And you look at a McCord, a quarterback who still young, but got an entire season as a sophomore, starting quarterback in high school football. Even though it's a young team, you got some players and you got some guys with moxie on that team.
We do. We got some swagger. We got some swagger.
You do.
Yeah, we do.
It's interesting. So, like, as a coach, do you like to see that? Do you like to see a little? I know everyone throws grit around every interview, and I'm mad I already did it just now, but it does. It seems like these kids, to a man, I think on your team, they do have that. They fight.
Yeah, confidence is a good thing. I mean, it really, really is. Confidence breeds success. If you're confident in yourself and your teammates, you're going to beat teams you shouldn't, and that's kind of the idea. And you're gonna believe in yourself and the things that are gonna work. I love swagger. I think there's always that fine line. But no, I want that type of team. Not an arrogant team, by no means.
Right.
By no means. But a team that goes. We're good. We're good if we need to be, and you don't lose to the helmet. And I've seen that happen too many times too, where you'll take a team in that's better, but you lose because you're used to getting beat by that team. So you want to instill that with these guys a little bit. Is that swagger? I think you do that in the weight room for sure. And then you kind of do that a little bit too when you're kind of talking to them, telling them why we're doing what we're doing and how it's going to benefit them and why it's going to be successful. I tell you, I got some smart guys, and it's a lot of fun.
Looking ahead now at the 2023 schedule, Coach Cardinal, you come in. It's an interesting schedule. You got 7 of the 10 teams on your schedule this year were in the playoffs last year. In conference alone, you're looking at 4 of the teams in your conference that were all playoff teams last year. Warren JFK, a powerhouse. Northwest, Youngstown, Cheney, having a good run right now. I mean, that's a daunting first year schedule for you, Coach Cardinal.
Yeah, it's fun. That's a fun first year schedule. I having the chance again, being from the area, I was never really successful in high school. So I got to see a lot of these teams, in playoff games and see the atmosphere. I'm so excited to get to play against a Cheney, to get to play against an Alliance, to get to play against JFK, to get to play against the Salem, to get to play against West Branch, Carrollton. I am I'm looking at this as, it's challenging, but man, it's going to be a whole lot of fun too on Fridays.
Yeah, and the EBC conference, I think sometimes this conference, Coach, doesn't get the rub it deserves. It's an interesting. I just mentioned there 4 teams in the playoffs last year, but it's funny too. You're going to be preparing for some totally different offenses from week to week when you get into league play. When you look at what a West Branch does and then follow that up with what a Carrollton does, I mean, you got to deal with some different offenses this season.
No, you do. So you just keep defense simple, keep it basic. I think that's one thing, we talked earlier about, you try to fit the offensive scheme to your players. I think defensively, you put together a scheme that works for you, and then you stay with it. And that way, when you go against the 5 wides, or you go against the double tight, 2 running backs, that the rules stay the same. And I think if you can simplify it that way, you can line up and play football. And that's the big thing, is just if you can line up correctly, you give yourself a chance against anybody.
So, Coach, in a couple weeks on a Friday night, when you're going to be on the sidelines for the first time in that Marlington gear, leading that team out for the first time, what's going to be going through your mind, man?
Wow. It's going to be the fact that I got back here, that kind of I did it. This has been a long journey, for me, for sure. So that's going to be kind of it. I'll definitely take it in every single Friday, regardless of we're home or away. And I do that, I kind of do that everywhere, Northwestern, I did it, Ravenwood down in Tennessee, I did it. The Friday nights are special. And so, to get to do that though, where, the place where you grew up is, I don't know. I don't think anything can beat that.
Well, Coach, man, it's been a really good, interesting talk with you here this morning. Congratulations on the head coaching job at Marlington.
Thank you.
And again, we'll be on the Q92 Sports Network. We'll be broadcasting 5 of your games this season. So we're looking forward to calling some Marlington football this year and talking to you, interviewing you before the games. And I wish you nothing but luck. Great community in Marlington. You landed in a great spot. Welcome home. And good luck to you this season. We appreciate it.
Hey, thank you so much. Thanks for having me.
All right, man. Take care. All right, there you go. That is Coach Cardinal, the new head coach of the Marlington Dukes. Again, as you can see, we got 5 games we're going to be broadcasting on the Q92 Sports Network coming up this season. If you would like to advertise and support the Marlington Dukes in any of those games, you see the number on the screen. Just call 330-450-9250. Ask for John Bozica or Mark O'Brien. Love to have you guys advertise, support the Dukes. And we look forward to you guys listening to Marlington Dukes football this year, once again, on the Q92 Sports Network. This has been episode 3 of the Conference Room here with Q92 Sports. Thank you guys for watching, and we'll catch you next time.